Hello there, my little fruit gums, and welcome back to Build with the Boys. It's time for our weekly catch-up. It's been a mad week again. I would really like the weeks to just calm down. There's been a severe drop in weather, so I had my first proper winter evening tonight. Walking home tonight, I was like, wow, it's cold. So a big coat. You got a big winter coat? I got a big coat. Got my little coat? Got my big coat. Big coat's coming out tomorrow. Gonna have to. What have we been up to? Well, we've been building Disney Doll's House. We got a little behind on Disney Doll's House, so I've sort of powered through those. So immediately following this video, there will be a Disney Doll's House up. So I'm just doing the editing and whatnot on them now. We're building the roof of that one at the moment. So we've got a turret that goes on there, which is quite nice. That's where it tops out. That's going on. Then we start tiling the actual main roof. It is laborious. So it's one of those things of all the kind of models that we do. It's one where it feels like a grind. Right, it's the only time I've had this with a Disney Doll's House. Putting each of the individual tiles on and trimming them down just feels like, it's a grind. I liken it to windows of the Titanic. That's what I've got. I'm like, ugh. And it's stick and trim and stick and trim and stick and trim and stick and trim. And it is what it is. But it does look nice. So when you stick and trim and stick and trim and stick and trim and stick and trim, you end up with something, it looks quite lovely. But it doesn't stop it from being a ball ache. It just doesn't. So that's the way it is. I'm very excited today. I'm very high because the trailer for the new Ghostbusters film, that'd be Ghostbusters 4 for those of you that are counting, has been released today. And it was working under the title Ghostbusters Firehouse. Now that was never going to be the main title because when they did Afterlife was filmed under the title Rust City. And then they changed it. It's just the working title. So we now know that the new Ghostbusters movie is going to be called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Like it or hate it, that's the title. And it looks a lot of fun. It does look a lot of fun. I'm sure there are going to be people out there, I hate this. This isn't Ghostbusters. And so not every Ghostbusters movie needs to have the bloody Marshmallow Man in it, does it? We do need new villains. And it looks like that's exactly what we're getting. So it looks like it's got a very ice theme to it. And the whole idea is being scared to death and the chill that comes over you. It's the death chill. That's what this is. And it sounds like a lot of fun. And I, for one, can't wait. What's remarkable about this is when we started building Ecto 1, Afterlife had not been released in cinemas yet. They'd literally just released the trailer for Afterlife when we began building Ecto 1. And it was supposed to be out in that June. Didn't happen. So Afterlife actually came out last year, and it came out, no it didn't, the year before. It came out in 2021. Came out in 2021, Christmas 2021, when it should have been out in June of 2020, and the same things just happened. So the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire originally was supposed to be released in December of this year. It was going to be released on December the 18th, I believe. December the 15th, one or the other. December the 15th. But because the actor strike didn't happen. So actor strike, even though the film's finished, it isn't. So typically when a film is finished, they go back and they record audio and things like that. So it'll be audio, they have to do reshoots, etc. So as a result of that, they had to push it back. It just is that simple because not only that, the other thing that affects a film release is the actor strike means that actors won't go and do press. So where you'd normally have actors on talk shows bigging up their movie, well, they're not doing that either. So these studios are basically going, let's just wait a while till this all blows over. And that's what's going on. So you can't get one at the moment, unfortunately. So we're going to run out of films soon. That's what's going to happen. But that's where we are. But again, in the time that it's taken us to build Ecto 1, they've written, filmed, released at least one Ghostbusters movie, but they filmed and completed a second Ghostbusters movie in the time it took us to build a model of the Ecto 1 thanks to Eagle Moss. Remarkable. There were only 2 movies. There was Ghostbusters 1 and 2 when we started that car. Now there's 4 Ghostbusters movies. And before you say, what about 2016 Ghostbusters, Scott? Don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. There was no Ghostbusters film made in 2016. You can keep telling me there was. I'll keep telling you there wasn't. In other modelling news, we have got tons coming up still. So I've still got, and I'm still trying to catch up with the editing and whatnot of these. I've got 10 Gauntlet coming up. I've then got 5 more. So I've been told 5 more Gauntlet are going to be here in the next couple of days. Fortunately for me, Gauntlet is quick. I mean, the bulk of Gauntlet parts, 2 screws and we're out, which actually is beneficial when I've fallen behind. So it's going to be okay. So we got to do that with the kids. So we're going to be bringing you more details about the favourite heroes and villains of the MCU. Our top 50 villains, our top 50 heroes, which we do. I've also been told that Tumblr has shipped. So Tumblr is on its way. Now, again, I know that in the next 6 Tumblr, there is bugger all to do, which has pretty much become the theme of Tumblr at this point, which is sad, really. I mean, I don't think any of us saw this coming, I think, which is why this is a shocker. Did any of us believe that the Tumblr was going to be like the lightest work we ever did on a model? There's less to do in the Tumblr at the moment than there is in the Gauntlet, which is remarkable. But I didn't see that one come in. I thought Tumblr was going to be, man, there's going to be a lot of work with that weird steering mechanism and whatnot. And no, not at this point. Which means next year, I think, is got to be pretty full on. I'm going to stop defending the Tumblr. I don't need to. But next year's got to be full on. It just has to. There's nowhere else to go. So it's going to have to get to that point where that's what we're doing. We're doing all the builds and whatnot. Titanic, believe it or not, is due to ship on Friday. So the next 4 Titanic, that seems like only yesterday we did those. The next 4 of the Titanic will be coming next weekend. So that really has come around fast. That's remarkable. And we are barreling towards Christmas. Now, the same as last year, on the channel, this will remain a Christmas-free zone. We're going to mention it occasionally because that's the way it is. But this will be a Christmas-free zone until the 1st of December, and then all bets are off. I love Christmas. Now, you don't have to love Christmas. A lot of people don't like Christmas. That's absolutely fine. But we do. I appreciate there's the whole, but the meaning of Christmas has been lost. Not for me, because to me the meaning of Christmas is literally Wallace and Gromit, chocolate cheese, late nights and sleeping in. That's the meaning of Christmas to me. Christmas is whatever it is to you. Now, I know, of course, it's the religious ceremony. I get that. But for me, it's a year-end celebration. That's what it is. So that's where I am. And if it's a religious thing for you, fantastic. But for me, the Christmas season is thrust upon me. Therefore, it is what it is. And enjoy it in the way you want to enjoy it. And feel no guilt. Okay, so if you don't celebrate it, that is absolutely fine. Nobody can tell you you have to. It's your choice. If you don't want to celebrate it, don't celebrate. You don't have to justify it. If you want to spend Liberia's deficit on toys for your children, well, you go ahead, you bust your ass, you earn the money, you spend as much as you want, right? It really is. And you don't have to justify that to anybody. If you want to buy every one thing, just one thing, that's all we do, well, then you do that. And you don't have to justify it to anybody. Your Christmas is exactly that. It's your Christmas. Nobody else's. And you do it how you want to do it, whether you want to do it at all. And don't ever feel like you have to apologise for anything you want to do. We bust our asses 51 weeks of the year. That 1 week that we get to spend with our family at the end of the year, do you. And don't worry about anybody else. We will be upping the content on the channel significantly through December. And the reason for that brings me nicely on to the next thing I'm going to mention. We are in November now, which is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, it doesn't get the fanfare that the other months get. So we have various months devoted to various ideologies and various beliefs and various celebrations, and there's a whole pageant about it. But when it comes to men's mental health, barely gets mentioned. But November is indeed Men's Mental Health Month. And Men's Mental Health Day is, I want to say it's the 19th this year. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'll put it in the description. Is a Sunday this year. So I'm inviting all of you to do something manly on Man's Day. Be it whatever you want. Chop a tree down, bare-chested, with nothing but a blunt axe, or start a fire, go to a bar, pick a fight. I'm joking. And that is kind of the thing. That's kind of what a lot of people's idea of being a man is. It ain't, right? It ain't. Being a man is tough. It is. I'm sure there are ladies out there right now that are rolling their eyes. And you go ahead and you roll your eyes. It's tough being a man. And the reason why it's tough being a man is because we do have expectations society thrust upon us. This is not exclusive To females, it isn't. We are expected to be the breadwinners. We're expected to be strong. We're expected to be the defenders. We're expected to be the earners. We're expected to be all of these things. And we're also expected to be quiet about it. Shut up, right? Well, you don't have to. So we will be doing more talks about men's mental health throughout the month because it is wildly important. Suicide is the number one killer of men under the age of 45 in the UK. And that disgusts me. I hate the fact that we have a society that's allowed that to happen, because that is the reality of it. Our society has allowed that to happen. We have allowed a generation of young men to kill themselves en masse, so much so that it's become the number one killer of people under the age of 45. If you think what happens at 45, it just becomes the number two killer. Our hearts start giving out on us over 45, and it just becomes the number two killer. So it's not like it drops significantly down the bloody list. It's still number two, which still isn't acceptable. So if you know someone that's struggling, be there for them, right? If your man, ladies, says to you, I ain't doing so great, it's an understatement. It probably took a hell of a lot for him to come and say that to you. So please listen. If somebody's telling you they're having a hard time, don't tell them you're having a hard time. Okay, that's the worst thing you can do. If somebody comes to you and says, I'm not feeling great, I'm not doing great, I'm really down at the moment, don't say to them, I'm down as well. Okay, because it dismisses what they say. Basically what you're saying is, yeah, well, toughen up, get on with it. That's what you're saying at that point, even if you are feeling that. So I've had this where I felt down and low, and someone's come to me and said, I'm just feeling really low. And I wanted to go, yeah, well, I feel really low as well, I can't help you, but I can help. You can help. Just because you're low doesn't mean you can't help somebody else that's low. You can help each other. You can talk. And a lot of the time, that's all we need. We just need to talk. I'm trying to set something up. I mentioned this in the last one. I'm trying to set something up in my local community at the moment where we're going to have a modelling club where once a month men are going to meet up and we're going to build a little model. Nothing massive, nothing grand. Maybe a little Roker kit like the Big Ben or something like that. But a bunch of us get together and just build models as therapy. But no talking, right? So we can talk by that. We can definitely talk. I'm not saying we can't talk at all. But what we're not going to do is be building a model and going, right, now everyone tell me about your feelings. That's not what it is at all. All this is going to be is a beautiful distraction. That's the plan. So a bunch of us can get together, can build a model, and we can just chat. And for that 2 hours, everything else just doesn't matter. We're just in the moment with a bunch of dudes that like doing the same thing. Sit there and just all of that nonsense of the day floats away. And that's what we're going to do. But there'll be more on this. So we're going to have more talks on men's mental health along with information of where you can get help. And as I've always said before, you are always welcome to contact me. You can contact me, scott@buildingtheboys@outlook.com. I'll talk to you. I will. I'd rather talk to you than something terrible happen. And I'd miss you a lot if you weren't here. I really would. So message me. We'll talk. Sorry about getting all heavy there. I got it. If I don't, who else is going to? Did you even know it's Men's Mental Health this month? Exactly. So that's what we're doing. What we're doing. What have we been watching? So me and the kid watched Goosebumps. So we finished Goosebumps. It was actually really good. So it's darker than a normal kids show, but it's certainly not Saw by any means. But if you're looking for something entertaining, Goosebumps is great. There's 8 episodes of Goosebumps. It's really good. It's a lot darker than the movies they did. It's as close to being a horror movie without crossing that line as you can get. It's a little bit goofy in parts, but it's also a fun show as well, and I recommend it. We enjoyed it. I think there's 2 more to go. We're on episode 8. I think there's 2 more. Episode 10, I think we end up on. We also saw the trailer this week for Echo. Now, I had no interest in watching Echo because some of the Marvel shows of recent, let's face it, have been a bit, But we saw the trailer for Echo, and Kingpin looks like he is like the man in this show, and Kingpin looks really good in it. So I'm all over it. I now want to watch Echo. I'm like, I want some of this. We saw the trailer for the new Planet of the Apes film. They need to stop doing that, right? So Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then War of the Planet of the Apes, and then, so the new one is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and it's like, really of the. But it looks good. It looks good, and it follows the son of Caesar. So it looks like it's getting as close to the original Planet of the Apes as they've got so far, because Icarus is mentioned in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Icarus is mentioned. Icarus was the spaceship that Charlton Heston was on, that lands on the Planet of the Apes, which was really Earth all along. Sorry, spoilers, but it's been 50 years. If you wanted to watch it, you would have watched it by now. So that could be how this one ends. You might see Icarus landing on the planet, the kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So it could be good. It could be really good. Beyond that, I've not really been watching anything because I am tired, man. I blacked out of sleep last night at like 8 o'clock. Wasn't good. I have got something else that I built. So I built the Steampunk Trading Centre. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I've now built all of the steampunk models that Funhole have to offer. They're really nice. Here's just a very quick clip of all of them together, so you can see what they look like when they're all lit up. They look real pretty. Really nice, really nice. And they are such a joy to build, genuinely. Now, this isn't because, as I've said before, my opinion is that of my own. They do some of those models, but I'm not asked to say anything. I mean, I could prove it to you. If you want me to show you exactly what they say to me, I could show it to you. It's literally, please build this, please show it the lights on, give us your honest opinion. That's it. There's no kind of like, tell people it's wonderful, when it isn't. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't tell you it was. But they genuinely are. They're just a joy. They're so, so pretty. And I do have a brand new one that's sat here right now. I can't show you, but I can tell you what it is. Yeehaw! We are going Wild West. We're going cowboy with the next one. So we have got the Funhole Saloon, which we will be building and bringing to you very soon. That's on the 15th of November. That one's going to go up on the channel. And it is an absolute beaut. I can show you a picture of it. Bizarrely, I can't show you what I've got, but I can show you a picture of it. This is the Funhole Saloon, and this is the first one in the Wild West theme they've just launched. Beautiful thing. Check this out. Stunning, right? So there are more naturally coming. This is the first one in a set. So if you are into your cowboys, it's a good one. If you're interested in steampunk models or any of the models they do, because they've got some absolute beautiful ones over there. Again, they're not asking me to do this. This is just me. I like them, so I'm championing them. There is a massive Black Friday sale coming up, and I want to have all the details about that on the 15th of November for you. But when I say it's huge savings, it's huge savings. So if you want one of these, you're going to be able to grab an absolute bargain. They'd also make a great Christmas gift. They just would. They're beautiful things. Beautiful things. What have we got coming up? So as I've said, we've got Gauntlet coming up. We've got Titanic coming up next week. So I've spoken to you again before that we get to that point. I will be doing a talk specifically about men's health. It is going to get a little bit heavy, but it needs to. These are things we need to talk about. Now, I'm quite open when it comes to talking about my own struggles with mental health for the simple reason that I don't want to, right? Believe me, I don't. It's not something where I certainly don't, I don't thrive, I don't indulge, I don't wallow in it, and that's not what it is at all, and it certainly isn't a call for help or anything like that. But if me talking about my own struggles with it will help somebody else, then so be it. That's the way I see it. It's like, it's for me, I find it a little embarrassing, as I'm sure a lot of people do, but ultimately, I'm going to share, because if one person, that's all, if just one person it helps, then you put some good in the world, you know? So I'm going to talk about it. And I mean, I'll openly admit to you now, just so you know what's sort of coming up. I had like a full-on breakdown in April this year, completely. But none of you knew, because I still appear on the channel. I'm Scott from Dub with the Boys. But no, I had a full-on, yeah, it was bad, really bad. But I'm fine now. But it's life just got too much. We had a lot of stress, and as I've mentioned on the channel before, without going into great detail, we have had an incredibly rough year, from May of last year to, well, not before then, I'd say from January of last year to, well, April of this year, it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. We had a really, really rough year, which is so bizarre because by contrast, it was our first full year of YouTube last year. And we had a fantastic time. So YouTube was great. YouTube was pure escapism for us. It was fantastic. But in the background, not so much. So we had a lot going on. And that gives you a perfect example as well, that just because somebody seems like they're okay doesn't mean they are. Which you get, but again, we'll go into more detail about that. But I promise you I'm fine. Genuinely, I'm fine. Life has just turned around massively at the moment, and we're all in a very good place now. But it was rough. It was rough. We went through some rough times, but I'll go more into that when we have our specific men's health talk. And this is why there's more content on the channel in December. So last December, I was uploading at least once a day, sometimes twice a day throughout the entirety of December, and I intend to do that again this year. The reason for that is because Christmas is a time for family and friends. Well, not everybody has family and friends. Not everybody wants to spend time with their family and friends. And some people can find themselves, a little lonely. So if you can check in with your old pal Scott here once a day, well, then why not, Gives you something to look forward to, and there's something there. Because, some of us, me included, I watch more YouTube than I watch television. So I want the content. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. You won't like all of it. Some of it you'll love, some of it you hate, some of it you'll some of it will make you laugh, some of it will make you cry. But that's what we're going to do. So we'll do everything from Christmas movies. People don't like Christmas movies. We're going to look at some of the bizarre Christmas traditions. I've got a story to tell you, right? And I nearly told you this story last year. I just don't know whether or not I should. But it's about the strangest Christmas I ever experienced. And I don't know. I bottled it last year, right? So I started recording it last year and thought, I can't. Maybe this year, maybe I'll tell the frankly bizarre story, I'm going to say it, of Piggy at Christmas. So what, I don't know. I spent, Christmas 2006 was the weirdest 3 days of my life. And who knows, I might tell you that story. I'm going to genuinely try and do it this year. I'm going to try and do a live build on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve sucks in my life. It's terrible because my wife goes to bed early. The kids now stay up a little bit later so they can watch the fireworks on TV. But I've always kind of hated New Year's, right? So I never really enjoyed going out on New Year's. So I've spent most New Year's on my own. I sort of sit on the couch, watch TV on my own, and that's New Year's. I'm like, yay, Happy New Year, and that's it. So this year I'm thinking, for those of you that aren't going out and doing the big party, I'm thinking maybe we can band together, we can buy a Row-Life or a Roker model or an Airfix kit or something, and together I can do a live stream, we can build it, right? So we can all build it together. I'm thinking maybe the Big Ben. I've built one before. I've got a Roker Big Ben, but how fitting for New Year's Eve to make a light up Big Ben model. Could be good, right? And then have it finished by midnight, then we can all turn our Big Bens on and watch the fireworks together. I'm thinking maybe we could do that. If you'd be interested in that, let me know. Drop it in the comments and say, I'm in. And if we get enough of us, let's go for it. Let's do it. That's about all from me. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel massively, and we just love having you along for the journey. There's so much fun stuff coming up. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And remember, just talk. Right? Seriously, just talk. Talk to me, talk to somebody, but talk. It's important. I will see you very, very soon for more from Building the Boys. I'll catch you next week for the catch-up. Until then, take care.